1, 2, 3. All right, welcome back to the Industry AF podcast. We got a guest. Introduce yourself, man.
My name's Dillon Weldon. I'm a social media guy.
Hell yeah, man. And what's the name of your pod?
Drifting Cowboy podcast.
Nice. How long have you been doing that?
Oh, the podcast, probably a year and a half.
Nice.
I guess. Really started it. I really started the podcast as a passion project to, capture the stories of songwriters, older songwriters, and the stories behind them and older artists and stuff. But it gained traction, and a lot of artists enjoyed it, and so folks like Travis Tritt reached out, want to be on it, and
that's awesome.
We've had Randy Travis, and we got Jamie Johnson coming down the line. So
our
Lucas
first
Nelson.
That's awesome. Our first guest, Arliss Alberton. Jamie, he got Jamie Johnson's first record deal.
Oh wow!
He talked about it on the pod. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He owns the St. Augustine Songwriters Fest, and he consults most of the writers for the BMI Key West one. So, but he still tour manages Jamie Johnson.
Oh, cool.
So
cool.
He posted yesterday they were taking pictures at soundcheck, rehearsing. So that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So has Jamie been on there yet, or?
No, that's coming up. It'll be in July when we film that one. We got Mac McAnally coming on.
Cool.
There's different folks. It's
cool.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to.
How'd you stumble into it? You just wanted to do it, or you just?
Man, I started out years ago, about around COVID, when a lot of people, started doing social media stuff, and I started doing the short form country music things. I love writing songs, and Grady Smith, I got to give him credit. He had posted a video on YouTube that country music was taking over TikTok, and he was talking about singers who were starting to get a leg up on TikTok. It was during COVID whenever it turned from a dancing app like it used to be into what it is now. And so he had made that video, and I was like, well, maybe that's my chance to connect with some of these people and do some songwriting and stuff. So I started making videos on there, and I've always been a huge history buff just in general, but I love country music, and I love country music history. So I'd be watching a documentary or reading Waylon's autobiography or something and come across a story and think, man, people ought to hear this. And so I'd get on and tell it. And I did that for about 3 years and never made any money or anything with it, just as a hobby. And,
sure.
Then about 2 years ago, it really took off for me. And
what happened? Was it like one of the platforms took off, or?
Man, honestly, what happened was me and my wife had moved up to Montana I was in construction. And we were living in Montana for a little while, working in Yellowstone Club outside of Big Sky. And it started getting too cold. So I was like, let's go somewhere else. And I got a job in Austin. And
it's from Austin. Mm-hmm.
We were out there for about a year with this company that they were doing some shady stuff. And so I ended up quitting them and finishing some of the houses that they had pulverized, basically. Got a call from a guy in Houston, and he was like, move out, come over here, and we'll pay you 20% more of whatever you're making in Austin. And because I was doing project management.
Cool.
And so we go out there, we move into this rent house, and we just got there, been there a few days, and he messaged me, he's like, job fell through. And I'm like, man. Yeah, it hit.
Do you have kids?
No, it was me and my wife.
Just your wife.
And luckily, I had a pretty good savings buffer from being in Austin. So I was like, nothing's really working out how I wanted it to. I wanted it to work out in Montana, and it didn't. I wanted it to work out in Austin, and it didn't. Houston didn't even start.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah. And,
Sorry, Houston.
I hear that. I hear this. I
I'm
hear that all the
not
time.
a big Houston guy.
Me neither.
Well, I decided since I had a little savings buffer that I was just going to take a month off and not do anything, just apply here and there and see what I could get. So I did that, and I wasn't getting any bites at all. And it was like, man, nothing's working that I'm trying. And I've been at this for a long time at this point. And I'm a pretty spiritual person. I went out on my porch one day by myself, and I said, God, it says in your book that the birds don't worry about what they're going to eat, and the plants don't worry about what they're going to wear. So I've been trying it my way for 10 years now. Let's see what you got.
Sure.
And I think it was the next day or 2 days later, TikTok rolled out their creator rewards program where creators get paid, which wasn't a big deal for me because
2022, 23?
23.
Yeah. Cool.
So wasn't a big deal to me because at the time I wasn't getting big numbers or anything. You know, I had about 40,000 followers on TikTok.
Sure.
And didn't have an Instagram or a Facebook or YouTube or any of that.
It's all TikTok.
Yeah, just TikTok. And but about 3 days after that, I had my first video hit 1 million views.
Damn.
So I went out on the porch, said that within 5 days.
Wow.
Had a paycheck coming in for $700.
Wow.
And
dude,
for a minute-long video?
For a minute-long video. And that I shot in my wife's car while she was at the doctor.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty cool,
it's
man.
making good use of your time.
Yeah. I'm like, well, if I could do it once, I can do it again. And
sure.
I've never swung a hammer since. It just rolled.
Wow, good for you, man.
By the end of the summer, I had 100,000 followers on TikTok. I still didn't start an Instagram or a Facebook till nearly a year later, but
sure.
This week, I hadn't hit it yet, but it's going to happen this week across all platforms. Will be at 1 million followers.
Nice.
Wow, congratulations.
So, thank you. It's been an incredible ride, man, but I got to give credit to God because that's how it happened. That's the truth.
That's pretty cool, man.
How does it feel internally, like the transition from doing construction labor all day to now being a content, social media guy?
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. I mean, I won't say I don't miss it at all because there are some aspects. I did like it. I mean, it's something about, starting with a bare piece of land and building a house and it's there, or whatever the project may be in. But this is definitely a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And I've been a country music fan since I was, as long as I can remember, because thanks to my parents, I was raised on it. So now I get to hang out and write with my heroes. Like me and, yes, I was just at Gary Gentry's house yesterday. We're writing a really cool song, and he wrote The Ride in 1959.
Yeah.
The one I loved back then. He's one of my closest friends in town. A lot of my closest friends in town are a lot older than me, but
that's a good way to do it, though.
They're my heroes, man. They're my heroes. So it's incredible to have made that transition.
So you feel like the platform was able to connect you with these people that you would never have met?
100%. The way I met Gary, he wrote the one I loved back then, the Corvette song, which I always thought was the weirdest song because here the song is a guy pulls up to a convenience store, a quick sack, gets out, and the guy behind the counter's like, "Hey man, I really like that. I want to give it a ride." And he thinks he's talking about the Corvette, but he's talking about his wife. I'm like, I'd punch that dude in the face. So I made a video where I was like reenacting.
That's funny.
I made a video like reenacting that, and Gary reached out to me on Facebook, and I just so happened to be coming to Nashville the next week, and so we met up at Cracker Barrel, our favorite joint. Right I
love Cracker Barrel. Yeah,
we go to the Cracker Barrel all the time, but yeah, we just kind of become best friends after that, and we've written some songs together.
Oh, so you're a musician as well?
Yeah, I don't perform, do any public performances or any of that. I'm more of a writer than anything. Sure. I do like to play it. Like, we go out to Manuel's house just about every Friday for Tequila Friday, and I'll break out my guitar and play down there for
fun.
But not, I'm not looking to get in the Nashville circuit by any means.
Sure.
Was there any intention with doing the social media to try and get into writing, or did that just happen?
Yeah, that's really why I started it, was so I could get into the writing. And then it went in such a different direction that I actually do less writing now than I did before, which is it's kind of unfortunate. I'm actually, thanks to Gary, I'm getting back into writing more like I was, and writing better. Yeah. Being around these guys has just helped me be a better writer, because they'll tell you, these guys who've been writing for 50 years will tell you that sucks. You throw that in the trash,
Those are good people to write with.
Yeah,
else you're sitting on a dumb idea for a couple days.
Absolutely. And we've come up with some uniques. So Gary's all about a unique idea. We don't want to write something that somebody else has already written. And you can see that with, like, The Ride.
Oh, yeah.
I forget who he said it was when he wrote The Ride. Merle Kilgore or somebody had came into Billy Sherrill's office and said, no, it was Harlan Howard. Harlan Howard went in there and said, man, who wrote that Alfred Hitchcock song? You know, because it was different. He's a different kind of writer, and I love being around those kind of people. Bobby Braddock, I had him on the podcast. What an incredible writer! He stopped loving her today.
Yeah, you just had who'd you have? You had the guitar, the real special guitar.
Travis,
pulled out. Those Travis
Tritt.
Yeah, that on there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, Travis was that. Talk about blow your mind, because I grew up on Travis Tritt. I remember, because I've always wanted to do social media. I used to do YouTube stuff back in high school, just being stupid with my buddies. Don't exist anymore.
We did too.
Yeah.
It's wiped from the internet,
like jackass shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So it's always been kind of an aspiration of mine. Me and another buddy of mine, Josh Walker, who. He's in the sports world, but we went to the same school together out in the middle of nowhere. He played sports. I didn't. I never cared for playing sports. And where I'm from, if you don't play sports, then there's nothing to do at all. I joke, I'm from Sugartown, Louisiana, that if you look up the population on Google, it's 176.
Sugartown? Hell yeah.
176 people. Most of them's my kinfolk, but
holy shit.
My wife and I are up here now, so it's 174. But so yeah, it's nothing to do.
Don't go.
Yeah.
So we had to just use creativity. A lot of us learned how to play instruments and wrote songs together, and then there was sports, which I didn't get into. So I'm looking for something to get into, and I'm like, hey, why don't we make some YouTube videos? That'd be fun. So we did that. And did that for years, and so it was always something that we wanted to do. And now Josh, he makes sports content, and he's killing it. He just had a video hit like 15 million views or something last week, so he's killing it in that world. And so we're both full-time content creators now, and we're both from this little tiny town, so it's kind of crazy.
Nobody expects, not the stereotypical content social media creator town. Yeah,
some girl in LA.
Yeah.
Well, when you're in a small town and you change anything up a little bit, you're going to have your naysayers of like, what are y'all doing? Y'all just being stupid, which we were.
Yeah.
To their credit, we were being stupid, but I don't think any of them ever thought that we'd make it as far as we have, and it's been pretty incredible. But
are you doing any CMA stuff this week? Are you interviewing anybody?
Yeah, no, I'm not interviewing anybody, but I have a meet and greet Saturday, and
nice
with Nashville Universe booth 436, I think. But
where's it at? The convention center?
Yeah, at the Music City Center.
Oh, gotcha. Cool.
Yep. A lot of running around. I tried to keep most of my schedule clear for CMA just so I can network. It's great networking. Last year, it was a table like this. I was in the green room there at CMA Fest, and there was a girl sitting there, and all the tables was full, and I had some food. I was like, you mind if I sit with you? And so we got to talking. And I was like, so are you an artist? She's like, no, but my daddy. I was like, who's your dad? Mark Wills. And I was like, oh, okay. And then Mark came in, and me and him talked country music history for like 2 hours.
Cool.
And he invited me back to the Opry for my first time going backstage at the Opry. And me and Mark's been buddies ever since. I've had him on the podcast. So, yeah, CMA Fest, great networking. Man.
Totally.
Great networking.
And you never know who you're talking to. Or who you're going to run
into.
Yeah,
that's what happened to me, Macy. And so that evening, we went and watched Mark's show with him, and then we went the next weekend to the Opry. And I honestly, walking backstage at the Opry, I thought it was a one and done thing. Like, I'm so lucky to be here,
Sure.
So I was just taking it all in. Like, I went in to use the bathroom, and Bill Anderson's walking out. And it's like, hello, son. And I was like, holy crap, that's whispering Bill Anderson. Which I've been back. I've been very blessed this year. I've been back probably 12 or 15 times since then. So
getting in.
I've gotten to know, Dan, who's the GM over there, and all the folks that run it, and it's been a really incredible year.
Well, then, so let me ask you this, because cool talk about the music business. Were you trying to are you just kind of let it kind of flow and just keep being TikTok, getting paid from that? Are you trying to maybe be like an MC for something or a radio?
Man, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Gotcha. Okay. No, it's a good question to ask.
Yeah. I tell you, when I said that prayer of I tried it my way, I've kind of come to the conclusion of I'm just going to step out of the way and let this thing do what it's going to do.
Sure.
Keep plugging along, and I make my content. Now I'm doing the podcast. It's almost like waking up on Christmas morning every day. You know, what do we have in store today?
Yeah,
and,
sure.
So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying not to step on my own toes by saying, I need to be here, Just kind of take it as it comes, you know?
Sure. 100%.
Have you ran into any managers or people saying you need to go a certain direction or wanting certain things? Or
I guess so.
Yeah. And I've learned to stay away from some of those kind of people. I won't name any names or anything, but I've had
tell us after.
Yeah.
I've had a pretty bad experience with somebody who promised. First I asked them, why? What is it you can do for me? And it's we can get you in this and this and these kind of collaborations.
Did they want you to pay?
Yes. And
I call it the Music Row management PR scheme.
Yeah. Well,
you're not from here, and hey, we're gonna do this for you, and we got this office over here, and then it's just all bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I'll let my story be one of caution for anybody listening who is coming up here, because I did it. They wanted to charge me $1,500 a month, which I was like
to manage it.
And I was like, I can't afford that. And they came back and was like, well,
cut you a deal.
Let's do
$5.
No, it's always what's your budget? Well, it's $500. That's crazy.
Yeah,
what's your budget? It is.
Yeah. They did $500 a month, and
they went down to that
for 4 months.
So, did you pay it? Did you pay it?
I did.
Wow.
I did it for we'll do it for 4 months, and we'll see how
where it goes.
And nothing happened in 4 months.
Yeah, because they get away with the whole, well, we tried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we did it. Hey, come back later.
If only we had 4 more months. Yeah.
You know what? If we actually do the full term, totally, man. That sucks. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It was a learning experience, and it really went. After the 4 months, I let them go, and they wanted to continue working with me for free. Because they didn't do anything for me, and then they kind of started stepping on my toes a little bit,
telling you what to do.
And like I was at the Opry talking to Dan about doing stuff, and then they were reaching out, so it was kind of like confusing. So I just cut them off. I was like, let's just part ways.
Kind of like speak on your behalf.
Yeah.
Oh, screw that.
Well, they were trying to do the right thing. I'll give them that.
Okay.
But whenever I let them go again, then they wanted to release a press release on me, and this was. After I'd had Travis on, and to me, I'm like, it kind of feels like they're trying to hitch their wagon to the rocket ship,
Yeah, totally.
And so I was like, no. And then the person who was heading it went around to people that I know around town and was like, how do you feel about Dillon Weldon?
I think I know who you're talking about. We'll ask him about that. Because if it's the same person, yeah.
And
sounds like it.
Yeah,
this town's too small to try stuff like that.
Yeah, it was really weird, and it was unfortunate because I try to treat everybody that I come in contact with kindness and in a professional way. I come from a business background, and that to me was very high school. I felt like I was back in high school, and I was like, okay,
it was dramatic.
And some of these like Gary and them are like, well. This is the music industry. Yep. Welcome to it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's my experience with it so far. But luckily, everybody else I've met in the industry has been gracious and kind and nice folks. And I have mostly positive things to say about.
Well,
go ahead.
This town has a way of weeding out the ones that aren't going to make it. And you can do that once, and you can get away with it, and people forgive you. Do it twice, you're probably not hanging around this town.
Yeah.
So I think, if you meet the older generation of people here, they've proven themselves reliable, honest, compassionate. It is a small town.
Yeah, it is, and it's crazy to think because, like, for a person like me who comes from the pine trees, you drive up to Nashville, it's like this whole big world, I'd been in Austin and Houston and everywhere by the time I come up here, but it really is like. I've only been here a few months, and I was talking to Zach Farnham, who is Randy Travis's publicist the other day, and Zach said, "Man,
it's 117, right?"
Yeah.
Yep.
And Zach said, "Man, you've only been here for a few months, and it seemed like you already know everybody." I was like, "Man, it's a small world."
It is.
It really is, but I love it. That's great.
Well, one thing, and I think you'll agree for sure, you don't need a management team unless you're making millions.
Yeah.
You just need, if anything, you get an agent where they make cash when you get a gig.
Exactly.
So if you ever get represented by an agency, hey, we're just going to get you on the red carpet and you're getting paid $5,000. Okay, cool. That's the only thing I would take.
Just negotiating the contract.
Well,
really.
I mean, dude, yeah, totally. But he's got his own channel.
Yeah.
You don't need technically PR unless you just want to be in Rolling Stone and pay for it. You know what I mean? You just got to keep doing your thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm learning that. There's nobody. People ask me sometimes, do you have editors or anything? And it's a one-man operation completely. Like when I go to Travis Tritt's house, like Grayson, who we were just talking about, come with me and help me set up cameras and stuff.
Sure.
But I do all the editing, set up everything, all my videos. It's just been me, and I think I'm going to keep it that way until I can't keep it that way.
Yeah.
Because.
Well, I mean, look at all these comedians that do podcasts. Eventually, it turns into this huge thing, and then there's a staff. You know what I mean? So just keep just keep grinding, because Nashville, what you experienced was probably a cheap. Bad experience.
Cheap lesson.
Cheap lesson instead of it being like. This
I know some people
deal.
that are on the hook for 100,000, 150,000.
Wow.
Yeah, but they put stars in your eyes, and you're like, I'll be a star.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They're like, well, I'll pay 100,000 now. I'll make 10 million later.
Well,
no shit. I'm gonna sell the house.
It's like me going into a casino.
Well, you're pretty good at gambling, so.
Well, I was lucky enough with my deal. I was already at a point that I was. That was one of the first things I asked, was like, well, what can you do for me? And they told me some stuff that kind of piqued my interest, but it wasn't anything that I was willing to pay $1,500 a month for.
Yeah, no way.
Not that's a house note.
Yeah, it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be.
In this town.
Down in Louisiana, that's a house note. Nashville, Nashville, that might be
that's not even rent.
Vacant lot note.
But still, that's a lot. That's that's $20,000 a year.
Yeah,
just
your
hard-earned cash that you created.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm glad you got away from it. That's good.
Yeah. It was, I think we all got lessons to learn, and that was just one of them. And that's really.
Well, I mean, at this point, man, you're an entrepreneur. He is too. He owns a studio, producer. I'm just saying, it's always up and down, but you learn from it.
Yeah.
I think you got a great attitude about it, which is the ultimate lesson.
Well,
how you deal with things is more indicative of
what
happens to you.
Yeah, well, money comes and goes, So, and
that's a good way to think about it.
When you do something like that, I think you have to know, hey, this could be nothing. If you're already prepared for that, then there's no use in dwelling on it anyway. Just move on and make some more money, I guess. Recoup it and move on. It's hard to move on when the people are going to your friends and trying to drag you a little bit. That was wild to me, but I think it's over with now, and we can move on.
Officially squashed. Yes. You heard it here first.
Yes.
Well, this town is becoming like a mecca for a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot. They see a guy like you pop off, he's brand new, he's green, doesn't know anything yet. Let's reach out to him, and just getting an email gets you excited. Going, oh, someone reached out to me.
Yeah.
But now you learned.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I get so many emails all the time. Hey, I had one yesterday. I'm not going to say what it was, but it was just a terrible deal. I have a company called Artist Formula, and the email list is 40,000 people. It grows about 100, 200 a week. It's because we're running ads.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a grind, but. Some other guy reached out and he's like, he offered me 100, whatever. He offered me some money to have access to it, and I was like, absolutely not, dude. You know what I mean? But if that was me 7 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, totally. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, when you get an email, it just makes you excited. Now when you get an email, maybe wait a couple days.
When I get an email, it's like, oh, no matter what, I hear that email thing go off, and I'm like,
throw your phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Text message,
Why are you calling my phone? So anyway,
unless it's that Zelle or Venmo noise, then I'm like, nice.
Yeah, I was at Russ, the keyboardist from Exodus. He invited us on Sunday to go to a jam thing, and there's all these Grammy players, and you want to jam? I was like, I'm fine.
I'm good right now.
I'm just gonna have a beer. But
Russ can rip.
Oh my god, dude! Shout out Russ King. He was amazing. We had a keyboardist that we never met show up to the gig at the Exit Inn, plays with Prince and shit back in the day.
Wow,
absolutely awesome stage. Energy. He was the shit. Went to his house, had a great time. But the thing was, there's a suggested Venmo donation for all the things he was putting on. But his phone was connected like with Spotify. He just kept ching, ching, ching. I was like, that's a sweet noise, dude. But anyway, man. But so CMA, are you just strictly country then? Are you interviewing other artists, or is your platform just country artists?
Just country, man. Just country. I went to a gathering with some guys the other day. Had a fire built and stuff, and there's a lot of folks that I didn't know, but we were sitting around the fire, and one of the guys pointed to my hat and said, "Man, is that a Weezer hat?" I grew up on country. I know rock, like classic rock. I
came in and complimented your hat. I knew it was Waylon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. He's probably like this motherfucker Weezer guy.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
I grew up on country music. Almost strictly with some rock and southern rock, Skinner and Eagles and that kind of stuff.
That kind of flirts with it.
Yeah, and so when he said Weezer, I was like, what is this guy talking about? I don't even know who. I'd never heard of Weezer.
Those are fighting words.
These Harvard kids.
Yeah. That's funny.
But so no, I don't really branch out too far out of, like, I've been talking to Blackberry Smoke's people. I'm having them on because I love Blackberry Smoke. So I'll branch out like that. I'd love to have a Whiskey Myers, people like that on, because I love their music. I saw Whiskey Myers probably 3 or 4 times.
Whiskey Myers is great. Those guys can rip.
Oh yeah, I saw him every time I saw him was at Billy Bob's down in Texas.
I love Billy Bob's.
It's one of my favorite places.
What's Billy Bob's?
It's a venue.
World's largest honky tonk.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep,
Fort Worth, Texas.
It's in the stockyards, and I mean it's always an incredible time.
You said Billy Bob's, so I thought like Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, no.
Texas, I'm telling you, man, Texas has the coolest places. Billy Bob's, Green Hall, Broken Spoke in Austin, Continental Club.
Yep, I love
all those places are just fantastic.
Nutty Brown used to be so cool. I think they reopened the Nutty Brown.
Where'd you play the most?
Antone's.
Antone's?
Yeah.
Did
you ever been in Antone's?
I don't think I've been there.
Kind of like all the Austin Blues guys got their start there. Continental Club's phenomenal, though.
Yeah, Continental Club's great.
There's Armadillo World Headquarters that they tore it down.
The White Horse?
There's a White Horse. Yeah, the White Horse is a great bar.
Yeah, you've been there?
Yeah. It's a country bar, two-stepping bar in
Yeah,
Austin.
it's killer.
No, most of the time up there, I would go, or down there, I would go to either the Broken Spoke or Continental Club. Mostly Broken Spoke. I love that place, man. It's because in the back, they got the big dance floor and then you can eat, but in the back they have like a little museum set up for all the people who's played there, which is everyone. George Strait, Willie, Waylon, everybody's played there. So it's a cool historical country set.
Back when Austin had live music.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of great artists, but 6th Street is not a live music hub.
No.
Are they doing the decimal thing?
I'm sure they're doing everything.
I heard they did that. Where they were walking up, you're too loud, turn it down. And you're like, what the fuck? There's live music in here.
They have all the laws from Los Angeles coming in now. So
yeah, and 6th Street is basically Broadway.
6th Street's scary.
It's worse than Broadway. It's like clubs.
Yeah,
they don't have. DJs in every.
I saw a fight last time. I mean, just and everyone just filming it. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And then Rainy Street is all skyscrapers.
Well, they ruined Rainy Street.
Yeah.
Rainy Street used to be cool, houses and.
During your wedding, I was stoked to bring Bella there, and then we get there, and I was like, what the hell happened?
It's just skyscrapers.
Yeah, it's totally gone. So, well, it's happening here too. So.
Yeah, it's happening everywhere, all the big cities, but Nashville's growing. Nashville and Austin, it's weird because it's like I'll go from one town to the other, and they're both like the fastest growing cities in the country. Austin because of the tech and Tesla moving out there and everything, and here. I really don't know why Nashville's
we got a big Amazon hub here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just kind of very central into a bunch of different highways.
Yeah.
And then it's cool. Like, bachelorettes came in, they visited, they saw it, it's a cool town.
There's a lot of
medical. They get married and tell their husband, we're moving to Nashville.
Yeah.
We gotta go. Well, there's a lot of medical.
Everyone's got a TikTok or podcast. They're all coming here.
The hell? No, I was kidding. Nice Weezer hat, bro. Yeah. No, I was kidding. No, I'm kidding.
I feel like I'm welcomed more than.
No, you are.
Yeah.
You're who you want here. Yeah. And we're all transplants. You know.
Totally.
I feel like I left one problem in Austin and contributed to another problem. So I think I get a little relief from some of my Nashville native friends.
There you go.
I'm like, I deal with the same thing. But
10 years?
yeah, 10 years.
10 years. Wow, man. Yeah. Well, I moved here in 2015, met him. 2015 was still like a sleepy town, kind of.
Yeah.
Red Door was cool then.
Yeah, Red Door was cool.
We walk in Red Door now. It's like
it's still cool. It's just not my vibe.
Yeah, well, it's more like Aspen '80s movie. Like everyone's like beautiful and they look like douchebags. You know, so.
I don't fit in there anymore.
Yeah, me too. We walked in the other night. And I went, whoop, walked right back out. You know, so. But 2015 was kind of sleepy, and then all the houses on Music Row were the offices, and now they're all knocked down and they're skyscrapers.
Yeah.
But you would do the same shit too. People were like, "Oh, they're destroying history." It's like if Homeboy walked up to you and goes, "I'll give you $50 million today," you go, "Yeah, knock it down." You know? So it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
There might be like 3 or 4 spots in town I wouldn't do it, but the Ryman.
Totally. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's unfortunate though. Some of it, like with Ernest Tubbs Record Shop, which luckily is coming back. I'm interested to see how it comes back because I see they pretty much gutted it.
Sure.
I'm glad that it's coming back though, in whatever way it is coming back. I'm sure it'll be a big bar, and the record shop will be a little corner off to the side. But
sure,
that place, I mean, the Midnight Jamboree, you know, and everything that was held there. So much history. It is sad to see some of those buildings go, but I'm glad for the places that at least pay homage to what it used to be.
Like Roberts.
Yeah.
You know,
I love Roberts.
You got a favorite bar?
Would be in the Showbud showroom.
The what?
The Roberts was sold pedal steels.
I didn't know
Showbud.
that. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, you got a favorite bar?
Man, I don't really go out much. I try to stay away from Broadway as much as possible.
Sure.
You know,
where'd you land in town? Where you got a house?
We're about 10 minutes north of downtown.
Nice. I'm north Nashville.
Yeah. So. Roberts obviously is great, especially if you want some cheap food. Go get the recession special over there. I'm all about cheap food.
Yeah.
But I try to stay away from that area as much as possible. And I don't really. I'm an old married man. I don't really go out to bars, you know.
I feel you. Have you been into Bobby's Idle Hour on Music Row?
Yes.
My buddy Josh Distad owns it. Historic. They've moved 3 different locations. The last time they moved the bar, when he bought it, we rolled the actual bar down 16th.
Oh, wow.
We put it on casters and rolled it down the street to put it in the new one.
Holy
That's
balls.
But
awesome.
you should go in there and talk to Josh. He's a wealth of history.
Oh,
He'd
yeah,
honestly
I'd love
might be a great person to try and get on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's a little shy, camera shy, but great dude.
Yeah.
And he's a great artist too. Great.
But that bar is legendary.
Yeah.
You've watched like the Foo Fighters, Sonic Highways, like 2016. They come to Nashville and they interview Zach Brown, all that. It used to be this sign, right?
Yeah.
Where
Welcome
leaned
to
over.
Nashville.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's a killer spot, man.
Yeah, I'll have to go in there and talk to them.
And there's 1,000 old timers there that all have hits. So
Yeah.
It's a cash only still?
no, I think it takes card now.
No, it takes card
but,
now.
but it was cash only for a long time. They kept their business in house, but
Yeah, cash only is a tough business.
Santa's did that too. You ever been to Santa's?
it's beer and wine though.
I've heard about Santa's, but I've not been
So
to Santa's.
I might be saying it wrong, but years ago he didn't pay his taxes. He owed like $20K or something crazy.
Yeah.
So he did a Kickstarter or like a GoFundMe, going, "Hey, if you guys don't put this in, you're going to lose your favorite bar." He raised like triple the money, and then now the place is brand new, but it's
Supply
still
and demand.
but it's still cash only.
Yeah, cash only.
Now there's ATMs out front.
But go on a Sunday. My buddy Carter, they do. That's when they have live music there, and they do the Ice Cold Pickers, Santa's Ice Cold Pickers.
Yeah.
And it's always a great band. He always has touring guys sitting in, and
They're just like picker
one
guys
person.
playing?
Yeah, one person leads the band for the first hour, and then the next hour is just guests coming in. But it's the one day a week they do live music at Santa's.
Yeah, I've seen some great talent there. I saw just a while back Margot Price was playing in there a few shows, so I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I mean they had who was it? Ed Sheeran and Noah Kahan were at Santa's. I was like,
That was
what?
That was such a viral moment, just like All American Rejects going to house parties. They did it here.
Yeah.
And Bella was like,
I like that. Though.
I thought it was great.
We should have more house parties,
Oh,
like
totally.
more little backyard shows and.
But Bella's my girlfriend. So I keep saying Bella. She was asking me, why would they do that? I go, it's a viral movement. And the next day, Rolling Stone was like, All American Rejects.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one kid where he's
Yes.
like, I'll be in
No.
California?
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Have you
I
seen
honestly
that?
think he gets too much hate.
Yeah.
There's way worse people and doing way worse things on the internet.
Word, yeah. I think he's a pretty harmless kid.
Yeah. And the song's not that bad.
But he's getting destroyed. He's having the worst day of his life. Or maybe it's the best time. Who knows?
My favorite guy, viral, because now my algorithm is just like music done well, but the songs are questionably done well. Have you seen the Rectangle guy?
No.
Oh, have you seen the Rectangle? Oh, this guy's got a song, and it's just he sings about being a rectangle. And I sing the song all day, and my wife's like, we gotta stop. I'm like, you sing Wicked every morning, like, so we're even. But it's like, I am a rectangle. I feel it in my bones.
No.
Yeah, this guy is. Honestly,
viral?
I think I genuinely like the song now. I heard it so many times.
What they say in a pop song? It's got to be catchy 3 times. I think I heard that recently.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to have a hook over and over and over.
Yeah.
So if you're a rectangle.
Oh, this guy's a rectangle.
Yeah.
Shout out. Well, gosh, what is this guy's name? I forget, but he's great.
There's
he wears like he's got green hair. He wears like a green tie and like a 3-piece suit. He like runs a business, like he's a CEO of some huge company.
Dude, he's gonna be a content creator making millions.
Yeah, we'll have him on the podcast. Yeah.
We'll bring him on.
Yeah.
Well, YouTube's been our thing. So the Instagram, not so much. TikTok, whatever, but YouTube, like it jumps about like 100 people a day. It's like 160,000.
Nice.
So, but it's just the same thing. I
thought it was like 6 people or 7 people, and he told me it's like 100. I'm like, I gotta watch what I say.
yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
No, but we just kept posting shorts. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That was it. Do you use Opus Clips?
I used it for a trial run. I didn't care for it myself.
Interesting. Do you had to use a program, or are you just editing it yourself?
I've been just editing them down myself now. I guess I'm a control freak when it comes to my content.
Sure. Which is probably a good thing to do.
Yeah, it didn't do it how I would do it, and so I just it was good, no doubt. I liked the auto captions and stuff like that, but man, and it was way faster than editing them myself. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I like to do it a certain way, so I just do it my way. But
did you have that skill set before you started doing it, or was this kind of accumulated along the way?
Well, like I said, we did kind of the YouTube stuff back in the day, so I had a little bit of experience, not a ton, and nothing with short form. Kind of came up with the style of the green screen thing. That was a built-in feature of TikTok, and I just thought, telling these stories would be cool to have a picture in the background of Waylon or whoever I'm talking about, or of the events if they exist. And so that's kind of been my style on the short form stuff ever since. And definitely, I mean, and I think that goes for anybody who's making content. If you look 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and look at now, you can see the growth.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. So, but yeah, it's a little bit of a learning. I feel like you always have to be learning new things and making your equipment better, like
of course, and if you're not moving forward, you're falling behind.
Exactly. So it's always just a continuing to learn, really.
Have you this might be an offshoot, have you discovered any new artists or people that from this process, or songs that you never would have heard? Or
man, it's funny, I just left Craig Campbell's celebrity cornhole match over there, and there was a lot of newer artists over there.
Pick up that name before you.
That's what Bobby Braddock says. You got to pick them names up off of them. But we were over there, but it was a lot of younger artists and new guys, and I knew a lot of them. Like there was several there. Grayson was there too, and
nice.
But there were several of them. Like, man, have you listened to them and them and them? I'm like, man, if they're not 30 years old or older, I probably don't know who they are, because my life has just become, and it was before really, but now, like, I eat, sleep, and breathe traditional old country music.
Okay.
And documentaries and books and whatnot.
So it's kind of hard to have your thumb on the pulse on the new stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's a crazy. I mean, everyone's a country artist.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
What's the chick from Ridiculous?
Oh, she's a country artist?
Yeah,
the one with the laugh?
Yeah.
She's gone country.
Yeah. Nice.
Exactly.
Well, I'm just saying everyone's doing country. Machine Gun Kelly did a thing with Jelly Roll. It was terrible. You know what I mean? Have you seen his new
Shout
song?
out Machine Gun Kelly.
I don't give a damn. Dude. But I'm just saying everyone's going to country now because it's like the hot. I mean, dude, it's pop music. Post Malone, even though I think his record's pretty damn good.
Yeah, for a pop country record, I think
that's good. Yeah,
at least he's from Texas.
Well, that was a great reference, by the way, going country, because in the '90s that's happening. We're back in that. We're going through that thing again of everybody's wanting to go country, but There's some great ones. I gotta say, I've told this before. I was at a party, and Post had his phone, and he had the aux cord in it. And I was walking past him, and he tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Man, you probably know this song, don't you?" And it was, or this album. It was Waylon at JD's, which is Waylon's.
Yeah, that's a great one.
When he was down in Arizona. And I was like, yeah, man, that's a deep cut. I love that album. It's great. Don't Think Twice, one of my favorite cuts of that song. And he said, yeah, me too. And the album was almost over. I said, well, what are you putting on next? And it was Gary Stewart's Greatest Hits he put on next. And so we sat there and listened to that a little bit and sang Whiskey Trip. And I said, well, who's your favorite artist? And
to Post Malone.
To Post Malone. And I said, who's your favorite artist? And he said, Hank Williams, Sr. And so I was like, well, I'm going to ask him what.
Yeah, let's get a question in there. Yeah,
let's see how well he knows Hank Sr. I said, well, what's your favorite Hank Sr. song? And he said, he thought for a second. And he said, probably My Son Calls Another Man Daddy. And I'm like, okay, that's a deep cut. Yep. And then we got talking about country music history and stuff. I'm like, man, the guy
knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff. He has a reverence for the genre and the history, and I can appreciate that. I have a big respect for that guy. I do. I think he
does it in his own way,
and he cares about the genre.
But he cares about the genre.
He cares about the genre, and I think there's a lot of acts nowadays that don't. They don't care.
There's a great tweet he put out. I don't know if it's a real. I might be getting bamboozled by the internet, but there was a tweet back 15 years ago that said, it was from him saying, like, I'm going to have a rap hip hop career, but in 15 years I'm going country. And it was like to the day.
Yeah.
I was like, he manifested this. Like, I'm never going to get big just being a country star, but if I go hip hop rap, then I'm going to be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a cool guy, man. Humble, nice. I've been around him a few times, and he's always been very kind.
I would think he's probably like the real deal.
Yeah.
Well, we're part of a distinct club. A lot of people don't like us. We're Cowboys fans, so I feel for him. I was
like, where are we going with this?
I feel for him. It's been rough. It's been a rough time. So I've always liked Post. He's dealing with the same pain I am.
I used to be a Cowboys fan.
Yeah. Good job. Yeah,
I got burnt out of it. And I was like, yeah, no way.
I was born.
I'm not a Cowboys fan anymore.
Honestly, I tell people not by choice. I'm not a Cowboys fan by choice. I was born into it. I've told enough people I love the Cowboys, so now. You make your bed, you get to sleep in it.
I used to go to 2 or 3 games a year and go to Billy. I'd go stay in Fort Worth, go to Billy Bob's, go to the game.
Yep. That's funny.
I got tired of being let down.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, my whole family, they were Charger fans, and when they flipped from San Diego to
You're
LA.
like, we can get out now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank God. No, they all burned their jerseys. You're like, screw this, now they're in LA. So we're always Charger guys.
I went to a Cowboys game the day after my wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. My wife was like, we can go, I guess. And I was like, oof, this is going to last. But they lost. I was like, of course they lost. They let me down every other point of my life. Yeah.
That is so funny. Dude, I was so hungover the next day after your wedding. I don't know how you did that. The great wedding in Austin was beautiful.
Me and my buddy Blaze went to a Cowboys game. They were playing the Ravens.
Was it last year?
No, this was several years back now, and we actually snuck down and was sitting front row at the field goal post, and they got that little stage there, and the cheerleaders were in front of us the whole time dancing, and I couldn't tell you who won the game or not. We didn't care anymore. We got the best seats in the house.
That's all. Have you been to a Titans game? I still haven't been.
I've been to a few of them.
I haven't.
They're cheap at the end of the season when they've won 3 games. And
really?
Yeah. You can get a ticket for $20.
Man,
I think Cam Ward's the real deal, though. I think he's a good quarterback. So.
Cool. I want to go. I've never been to the Sounds. I just bought tickets for the Sounds for next week. So that's the baseball team.
Who you going with?
With Bella.
Oh, cool. Fun.
Yeah. With another guy.
No, I'm around too. I can get
Now we could do some couple dates, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You didn't want to do one if I wasn't drinking.
Well, because I would have felt bad if I'm and then I'm drunk. And then
it is what it is. I'll drive you home.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll carry you home.
Well, we're golfing Friday. Do you golf?
No. I never.
You got me into it. Back into it.
I've never been golfing. The only experience I have with golfing is about 25 miles from where I live. There was an old rundown golf course that had grown up a little bit, and the guy from Lake Charles come and bought it. His name's Daryl, He has a restaurant called Daryl's. It's really famous in Lake Charles, and he opened one on the golf course just because he wanted to own his own golf course, and so he cleaned it up and everything. And we were really excited because we were seniors in high school, so we'd get off early and we'd go to Daryl's and have a sandwich. And so we're sitting there by the window one day, me and my buddy Grant and a couple other buddies. We're looking out the window, like, man, I bet there's fish in the ponds out there. So we come back after dark. And
fish?
Right at dark, and we fished in pond. And I'm telling you, you could
hit everything.
You could have threw a hook out with nothing on it and caught a fish. We filled up an ice chest and like.
Did you get in trouble? Did you get caught?
Yes.
You eat them? You ate those fish?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was.
I get some like blood testing.
Oh,
all the amount of chemicals they put in.
Well, these had been.
This was abandoned for a while.
For a while. Okay. So it had some big bass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we filled up an ice chest, and we were leaving, and a golf cart pulled up, and they were talking about we should call the game warden on here or whatever, and we're like, hey, we won't come back. We haven't got a fish, So
said, beat it, nerd.
We rolled out, and we had a fish fry a couple of weeks in a row out of that. That was my first experience with golfing. And my second one was just a couple months ago. John Daly had his tournament, and
that's Hick.
That's
Old Hickory.
Oh, it was nice.
Yeah, well, I went over there and hung out. They had some parties. I didn't go on the course at all. I just went to the parties, and
it's kind of the best part of golfing. Is
it's a good time to listen to country music.
Yeah,
half the day you're just sitting there in a cart listening to.
Good tunes. I didn't do any. When I was there, it was after dark, and but. He had some good parties there. Tracy Lawrence was there. Who else? Mark was there. Mark Wheels and Jake Owen, and they all got up and sang a couple songs. So it was a neat night.
There's a new bar of his, right? John Daly has a new bar.
Yeah, right by Losers.
Oh, cool.
Yes, that's right.
Cool.
Yep.
Did it take over Kung Fu?
Rebar or Kung Fu?
I forget what it was.
Yeah. I think it was Rebar.
Yeah.
Is it Duck Blind? No, you just said what it was.
It's John Daly. It's next to Losers.
Next to Losers.
So there's Riley's place, and then Losers, and then John's place.
I mean, I never go over there anymore. You know?
Yeah, I haven't been over there.
I went and saw Grayson after the X&N at Duck Blind.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. I'm not trying to call him out. I was trying to talk to him. He had two girls on him. He goes, "Can you give me a minute?" I was like, "Absolutely." Yeah. And he gave me like a wink. I was like, "All right, man." That
sounded like Grayson. I was going to meet him at Losers last night for the show, and he didn't show up for about an hour and 45 minutes. I saw my show anyway. I went home. Well, that's Grayson. He's out shaking hands somewhere.
Living his best life.
Man, I try and be in bed by 9.
Yeah. Me and Grayson, man, I tell people we got to be the best. When we're together, we got to be the best networking duo in Nashville.
Sure.
Because if they don't know me, they know Grayson, and if they don't know Grayson, they know me, and we're just about getting anywhere, So me and Grayson
skipping lines.
He's one of my best friends, man.
Well, I'll text you when I want to get in somewhere.
There you go.
It's better than what do they say? What's better than having a boat? Having a friend with a boat.
Yeah. There you go.
What's better than networking? Having a friend that networks.
There you go.
That's funny. Dillon, come on, man.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, and this is industry talk. So that's the most important thing you can do in this business is network.
Sure.
One connection leads to 5 more, and those 5 lead to 5 more.
And maintaining them is just as important. You got to meet someone, and I don't know how many bars I've been to and how many nights I've met someone and be like, we're best friends, we're going to write a song tomorrow.
And then
never talk to the guy again. So like that follow-up, that maintaining the relationship, the connection.
And that can be tough, too, when you're meeting so many people, but that's exactly right.
I will say being nice goes a long way, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you never know where someone's going to be in 5 years. You never know where you're going to be. You know what I mean? Someone might blew you off, and 10 years from now, you're this big deal, and hey, man, you're like, you know what I mean? So, whatever. I'm just saying it's a small town. Everyone kind of knows each other.
Yeah. Yeah, you were talking, you mentioned a while ago that talking about, me a few years ago, and I think about that often. I told Travis Tritt when we did the podcast, I said, there's an old man that lives in my head. It's me at 80 years old. And anytime I make a decision, I think about that. Like if I'm an 80-year-old man and don't have any life left ahead of me or much at all, would I regret doing this or not doing this?
Sure.
And
great advice.
There's also another version of myself that I think lives in my head, and that's me 5 years ago. Because I think it's easy, to get in a position like I'm in where I'm going to Travis Tritt's house and stuff and not think about how grateful I would have been 5 years ago. You know? Like, wow, who would have ever thought it? You know, so I spend a lot of time when I finish that stuff just reflecting on like, man, that's
great.
That's great.
Incredible.
You should always, you know, if you're having a bad time, go, well, where was I last year?
Exactly.
You know, and then you don't ever compare your timeline because your time will come.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of musicians for sure, like, oh, you know, and they get so angry, and it's like, well, no, it's that person's time to like shine for a second, so give them a break, you know. So it's tough.
Yeah, and my biggest problem is I think I get ahead of myself. I want things to happen too fast. You know, I get anxious. I'm like, man, why ain't this happening? And I'm like, man, I've only been working on this for a couple months. Chill out.
Sure.
Chill out.
But, you know, you get in your own head.
There's a great Bill Gates quote, and he goes, most people overestimate what they can do in 10 months and underestimate what they can do in 10 years.
Yes.
And I think that's true with this town. I mean, you hear the 10-year town thing all the time.
Sure.
But the number one common thread, I think, from talking to people on this podcast is if you have that mindset of what can I do for you rather than what you can do for me, that's honestly everyone we've talked to, that's been their big key to success. So it seems like you're doing the same thing.
Bill Gates almost hit me with his minivan one time.
Really?
Swear.
Yeah.
I was
was he blasting Weezer and just
he probably was.
Yeah, we got to hear this.
When I was in Montana working at Yellowstone Club. So if anybody's not familiar, Yellowstone Club is, I'm not even supposed to be talking about this. It might come like kill me or something. But it's like this
Illuminati's listening.
Secret. I don't know if it's secret, but it's like this. I heard you had the fee to be in this club is $20 million a year.
Say it again.
$20 million a year.
Wow.
So it's all like the lowest, you know, bracket of income in this club is like $500 million.
Yeah.
So Zuckerberg, Tom Brady, that's who we're working for in this place.
Got it.
And
wow,
it's a big ski place. So lots of inclines and stuff. And I would put my headphones in, you know, I'm walking up, and it's a incline about like this. So I was in the best shape of my life walking through them hills. And it was a gravel road they were getting ready to redo that I'm walking up. And I'm kind of walking, not in the middle of it, but off to the side, and had my headphones in, looking down at my phone. And I hear gravel start like sliding. And I look up, and this minivan's coming straight at me.
Like they lost control or something?
Well, they'd come around the curb and just didn't, they were going a little too fast. So when they hit their brakes, they wouldn't get no traction on that gravel, and they were just sliding towards me. And I jumped out of the way. Biggest mistake I ever made in my life because I didn't know who it was.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And I looked up, and he's got, you know, this sorry dude look on his face, and it was Bill Gates in a minivan. And I jumped out of the way, and he kept going. I was like, man, if
you should have fell down and been like, oh.
If I'd have let him break my leg, but
it wouldn't have been so Microsoft.
They have their own
Yeah.
Nice. Keep that in. We're not deleting it.
But
you tried.
Yeah.
They have their own hospital in the club, so I'd have probably been, you know,
taken
he
out.
didn't make it.
Just walks in, puts a drug in it.
That just sounds like a punchline to a joke. Like, and it was Bill Gates in a minivan.
It was crazy though.
Type 5.
Yeah.
They would tell you, like, you come in here, no, you can't take any pictures that's not work related. Like we were doing tile and stone work.
Got to keep it pretty and like quiet. Hush,
yeah.
hush.
So if you took a picture of like tile work and sent it to your boss, that's fine. But if they caught you taking a picture of anything else, not only were you banned for life, the company you worked for was banned for life.
Oh, whoa.
So it's very
big trouble.
There was this road crew working down there, and I heard this story from one of the other workers. They were out there fixing a pothole or something, and there were some ladies out on a deck watching them drinking their drinks. In a minute, the guy who's over the club, or one of the workers for the club, come over and said, hey, those ladies over there called. They said they'd prefer y'all work with y'all shirts off. And they were like, man, we don't really feel comfortable doing that.
So it was some ladies some older milfy ladies?
Some rich, super rich ladies, I guess.
We're just like
I'm like, all right.
And,
you got a checkbook?
Yeah, I told them to take their shirts off, and apparently, from what this guy told me in the story, I don't know if this is true or not, because I was just told the story, but they said no. They weren't going to take it. They didn't, like, who are y'all, you know?
Yeah.
So the guy leaves, comes back and says, hey, y'all need to work y'all shirt off. Like,
whoa, brother.
Yeah. So it was weird. It was a very odd place to work. I never had any experiences like that. So that was all told to me by somebody else.
It's like Martha Stewart over there.
Yeah. It was strange, man. A whole different, and everybody. So like living in Austin, you saw a lot of these millionaire type people who were driving Lamborghinis and stuff. Up there where they're the super rich, it was like minivans and
non-flashy,
nothing flashy at all. They did.
Wow.
Which I guess a part of it was that they needed 4-wheel drive and stuff, but it wasn't anything. The houses were flash, like the showers had like thermostats in them and stuff. Like it was crazy,
over the top stuff.
But it was. I didn't sign anything saying I don't think I signed anything saying I didn't talk about any of that.
Well, if you're missing next week.
Well, for $500 a month, I'll make sure that no one comes out.
Nice, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we got a couple minutes left. You got anything you want to ask, or?
I think I got a lot of questions, but maybe off the record.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if do you think you want to plug?
Yeah, I mean, just look me up, Dillon Weldon, on any of the social media. You'll find me, and you'll find my link tree, and got Drifting Cowboy podcast in there. It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all those places. Got some cool stuff coming down the line. When is this coming out?
Oh, like in a couple days, maybe a day or two.
Okay. We got some cool stuff coming down the line. Tyler White from Love on the Spectrum, he's coming on.
Which one's that?
He's loves country music.
Oh, yeah. He was with the cowboy hat.
Yes.
No freaking way.
He's coming on. We got some really cool stuff happening with that. But
congrats.
Since this is coming out in a couple of days, I'll tell you all fair what's coming up. But Jamie Johnson, Lucas Nelson, Mac McAnally are coming up. We've had Randy Travis Tritt, T.G. Shepard, a bunch of great songwriters like Bobby Bradley, Gary Gentry. Lots of cool stuff happening, man. So just come check us out.
Good for you, man. That's awesome. And, if you want to do this again sometime, love to catch up with you.
Anytime.
We'll space it out.
Anytime.
That's been an easy conversation. Love
that.
Yeah.
When there's some Weezer tickets in town,
we're going to take you to a Weezer show. I want you to wear all Waylon, and we'll take you to a Weezer show and see what people say.
It's the biggest fan in the world.
Yeah. I told the guys, like, when I leave here now, I got to look up Weezer because I've never heard it. I still haven't. I still have no clue who Weezer is, but I'll get to it eventually. Actually,
before we bounce, you hear what happened to the bass player's wife? In Eagle Rock, I guess there was a LA chase. And I think she was just defending. She thought something was going on, but she pulled a gun out. So what happened is a car chase came in. They had like a big ass compound, I'm sure, right? Because this
is a very Waylon style story.
And the guy comes in and she pulls a gun out and starts shooting. And she got arrested. It was pretty rock and roll. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was all over the news. Like bass player Weezer's wife going to jail for attempted murder, and some guy came in their compound. And she was just like, But I mean, I don't know the state laws in California. I mean, are you not allowed to?
I don't know.
Here you can.
They don't even know the laws.
Weird.
Yeah.
They don't even know the laws. So. Shout out Gavin Newsom.
There you go. Well, dude, thank you so much, man. We'll catch you soon.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Hell yeah, boom. Did it. We always do that. We always laugh.
It's like terrible clocks. There's no purpose. Yeah.